Ladies and gentlemen, now today I wanted to cover a quick tip in regards to one of the special objectives for the Spider-Man event. So this one is a very important objective overall. It's win dungeon fights using Spider-Verse champions, and if you're a bit of a savvy player, this tip might seem a little bit obvious, but I wanted to cover it because this is a really important objective. If we break it down, overall it's a total of win 50 fights using Spider-Verse heroes, Sinister Six or Symbiote in any dungeon there, and we can see the rewards really do start to tally up around the final two milestones. So this is actually a total of 6,500 of the shield markers. So that is like entry to half of your epic if you're doing it for the class trips, and also a lot of the shards as well, so more chances at exclusive 2-star champions or 4-star versions of characters like Carnage, Symbiote Supreme, you know, Venom the Duck. There's a lot of really good champions in those crystals. So yeah, I just wanted to point this one out in a very quick way to do it. So overall it's like 50 fights, and what you want to do is you want to pair up with either a friend, or if you have a second device, second phone, this becomes a little bit easier. So today I'm going to be doing it with both my accounts, Seatin and also Whale Milker 3000. So I'm going to quickly enter the dungeon on Seatin and send Whale Milker 3000 an invitation here. So let's go to the second device. Unfortunately, I'm not snazzy enough to have it set up so it flicks between the screens here. But we're mainly going to be playing on Seatin today, so I'm just going to load up a team here with one champion. I think for the sake of a little bit of fun today, we'll probably put in Dr. Octopus. Plus, it is the Mutant and Mystic one. And on the free-to-play account, I'm going to load up all 1-star champions to really kind of sandbag the rating down and mean that only the very first dungeon is accessible here. So yeah, let's bring in Dr. Octopus. Do we want a backup champion? So we can have 3-star, Starknot, Spider-Man. To be honest, if we do die with, Doc Ock, the 3 stars probably aren't going to be too useful there. But yeah, we want to press ready on both of the accounts now, and then we're going to go ahead and select Dungeon 1. So at this point, we have the absolute bare minimum difficulty, and again, it's winning fights for like any champion in any dungeon, and Dungeon 1 is a very easy time. So easy that you actually don't need a second person to complete it. Literally, you can just go around one side here. So I think today we're just going to be playing on Seatin here, and you can just take one fight to the left. You've got the mini-boss and also the final boss. So every single room that you clear in Dungeon 1, if you're just playing kind of one-sided and having the other person, you know, be static, that is 3 fights there you've got overall. So yeah, you need, how many rooms is it in total? Oh my gosh, my quick maths is just not firing off today. I think it's about 17 rooms in total in order to smash out. And again, you can use a variety of champions, and you still have like 2 weeks to do it. So if you've only got like one really good 4-star version of a Sinister Six symbiote or Spider-Verse champion, that is a potential way that you can just, you know, really easily rinse out this event, and it's definitely worth doing for absolutely everybody if you are going to use this method to quickly do it. Again, if you are just playing dungeons normally, you can just bring in your top characters like that way, but if you're just looking to like smash this out really easy, really quickly, this is probably one of the best and most efficient ways to do it. As you can see here, we've already done like 1 dungeon level. I think that took, you know, the best part of like a minute, and then we can just smash the start next room button. And also the best part is, you know, if you want to do this with like alternate friends or different accounts, you can gain the friendship bonuses as well, which depending on your kind of tier and collection can be stuff like 3-star champion shards, 4-star champion shards, or 5-star champion shards. So that is a little bit of an interesting one there. But let's go ahead. We're going to win 2 more fights, and then just claim the very first tier of the objective as well. But once you get going, man, it's probably just a good idea to see how far you can get, because the scaling as well on the very first dungeon, it takes a lot of rooms to even get to around like 1,000, 2,000 power index. So, you know, even if you get fairly deep into Dungeon 1, then you still have some very easy fights, stuff that is even more straightforward than like Act 4 content. So providing, you know, you've got 1 or 2 good 4-star champions at like rank 4, rank 5, that fit into the symbiote Spider-Verse or villain category. Here we want to make sure actually we go back now and claim the objective. So we've got the very first milestone. Again, what was that, like 2 minutes of play? We got the room smasher one as well, so a little bit of gold there. And scrolling down to the bottom of this, again, it's very important to make sure you claim it every so-and-so fight. Oh, I didn't realize there was additional stuff there. We got some dungeon revives, which you know, they are an additional item. Certainly not the most useful item in the world, unless you're doing some sort of hardcore dungeon challenge push. But you know, they can come in handy now and again. But let's take down this Cyclops. I'm a little bit tempted just to grind it all out on today's video. But ladies and gentlemen, I assume by this point in the video you get the general premise, man. Just go into Dungeon 1 with like an overpowered Spider-Verse related champion, and you're going to have a very, very straightforward time. Let's go ahead and smash out the next room. Maybe get up to the next objective, just see how long it takes and see how far we can push, because we're in room 3 now, and the power index is between just under 600, and this Magneto is probably the most stacked. He's at, what is it, just over 700 there. So, you know, not the most menacing opponent in the whole scale of Marvel Contest of Champions. And for 6-star rank 1, you know, I was debating bringing in like my Stark Enhanced Spider-Man or the brand new version of Spider-Man. But I was like, Doc Ock, you know, he's fairly mid-tier in comparison to my endgame roster. So I thought he would be a great one for a little bit of a showcase today. But as you can see, man, even Doc Ock, he's throwing around, you know, some crazy weight and just absolutely smashing through the fights. And the best part as well about kind of solo farming Dungeon 1 is that the link nodes do almost nothing. I think it's something like, yeah, just increases attack by 50% or increases health by 50%. So I always like to go the left-hand side, mainly because we got the class advantage, but also I think the left-hand side bolsters hit points, and the right-hand side bolsters attack. So if you go the left-hand side, then stuff is always going to die a little bit quicker. But you can see, even in room 3, man, you know, we're not even getting to like 5 hits, let alone like a special 1 or special 2. So it's just a great way to very quickly farm some of these objectives. And I think overall, like doing this method, I'm kind of interested to see how quickly we're going to get up to the second milestone, because it is a total of 50 fights. But I think to get all of them, it's probably somewhere between about half an hour to 40 minutes work, 45 minutes work, maybe a little bit longer if you've got a 4-star version, but for like 6,500 shield markers. And I think it's a good stack of like 5 or so of those crystals. Like it's not a bad graft, it's not a bad grind at all. And again, you can do this with a friend as well, so you can have, you know, one side each and then alternate who gets to take the boss. Just to maybe make it a little bit more quicker, a little bit more efficient. But again, if you do have access to potentially 2 devices, then it just becomes even quicker and even easier to smash out. So yeah, one more room, and then we're going to be at the win 10 dungeon fights one. And there's also something I want to point out, because I think in about 4 days time, and I'll get up the in-game mail for this after we complete the next room, because in 4 days time, I think it's the 28th to the 31st, we do have like some sort of special dungeons event that's coming, and they said there's going to be like new solo objectives for that dungeons event. So I don't know if there's going to be like even more stuff on top of the stuff that we already have with the Spider-Verse one. So that's going to be a little bit interesting to see if, you know, it makes, you know, farming this method even more valuable then. But yeah, I think we'll probably do a video and kind of assess those new dungeon event objectives when they do come out, and see whether or not, you know, they're worthwhile and worth kind of getting stuck into, and maybe some tips and tricks and efficient ways to do them. But yeah, we're almost at that glorious second milestone now, so let's beat down Psylocke, and then after the end of this room we should have enough to claim the next objective. So yeah, it's just crazy how fast all this stuff goes, man. It's a really good time, but we've got Iceman and Iron Fist to kill. You can see the health pool now has gone up to, what are we, in room 5? It's just under 6,000, which is still like a third of the Act 4 health pools. So if you've got a fairly decent roster, man, you're not really going to struggle getting too deep into this. And even if you like are a fairly new player, this is still, if you can team up with a friend or just really a random person, this is still a really good way to do it in Dungeon 1, because you can probably get through like a few different rooms. Yeah, just smash it out, get the objectives, and those, like, you know, Spider-Verse equivalent premium crystals could potentially be quite valuable, because they might, you know, net you like a 4-star Venom the Dark Starknaut Spider-Man, a champion that can really, like, throw around a fair bit of weight. And I think also, like, once you get to room 5 and above, it's like 5, 7, and every number that's like 2 up from that, so like 9, 11, 13, 15, etc. You get like random catalyst as a reward, so I think it's like the tier 2, tier 1 ones. So yeah, that can be a nice little bonus if you're looking to upgrade some 1-star, 2-star champions. So yeah, there we go, man. The second objective done, and you can see just how easy and straightforward it is. Like 35 more total, but I think I'll you know, probably reset at some point and do it in a separate dungeon run. But also, just to make you aware, we do have that dungeon event coming up fairly soon. So Dungeons Day does start soon. So it's the 28th of July. So kind of like the standard, like 6 PM UK, 10 AM PDT, to the 31st of July. And they said there are going to be special bonuses and enhancements will be added to dungeons. Enjoy special solo objectives, a global 25% dungeon point boost, and greatly reduced champion refresh costs, so you can challenge more rooms. So yeah, I don't really know how that one's going to turn out or what the full details of it are, but that might be something to potentially wait on if you want to farm this out, because there might be an additional objective that is essentially the exact same thing, like complete rooms or win fights or something like that. So yeah, you might get a bit of a 2-for-1 if you wait on that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for a very simple tip and trick guide video. Hopefully you did enjoy it, and if this video did help you out, please do smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Aside from that, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.